huku sasa tu zime
I think this is bad.
I
told you this boy is in body.
400 marks. I think I should be able to achieve what I have in that marks that I've already got. But now if they want to force 400 with me and I can't achieve it, what will I do?
I had highlighted on the topic about corporal punishment and about that class 8 boy who was beaten for not getting 400 marks. And today I have my panelists and I'm going to let them to introduce themselves before we start with the topic. Let me start with you.
Hi, my name is Karen Mukoma and I'm a trained child journalist by Mtoto News.
Asante sana Karen. Let's move on to Mwangi. Yes.
Hi, my name is Mwangi. I'm a child rights activist and I'm very glad to be here today.
Asante sana Mwangi, a child activist. Yes, Kakai.
Thank you, Omar. My name is Doreen Kakai, Deputy Chairperson of Kibra, Kenya Children's Assembly here in Kibra, and also trained journalist in Mtoto News.
Thank you so much. A member of the KCA, Kenya Children's Assembly. Asante sana. Let me start with you, Kakai. Now, there was this video that was going around for this class 8 boy who was beaten thoroughly by the teachers because of not attaining 400 marks. Okay. But the child did not have terrible marks, but still the teachers were insisting that the child should get 400 marks. So do you think it's necessary for children to be beaten by teachers so that they can attain academic excellence?
To me, first, that's a big no, because if a child fails, it's actually not failing. He has put more effort in the first place to get that 400 marks, right? Mm-hmm. Then if he drops, that doesn't mean that he has just gotten the end of the world to get that 300 marks or on below 400 marks, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if the teacher decided to beat the child because of lack of getting 400 and whatever, that was a big mistake.
Yeah.
In fact, dropping, it's just, the teacher was supposed to tell the kid, like, you dropped, but you need to improve.
Need to pull up your socks, right?
Yeah, so that is a big no, and in fact the government should do something about that. Yeah.
Asante sana Doreen Kakai. Let me come to Mwangi. Now Mwangi, we all saw that this child was beaten by the teachers. Do you think it was necessary for the child to be beaten so that the child could attain academic excellence?
For me, I don't think that's right. I think the fact is that the child did his possible best to attain the marks that he got. So I think probably what the teachers would do is really talk to him, just to really listen to him. And I mean, there is a famous quote from Barack Obama that says that failure, the most people who fail are the people who succeed, because really it's the failures that carry on that make you succeed. It's the failures that you take and really take them to the next level, and they'll really help you, because now you know where you messed up, and now you can really improve on that and just change that. So I really believe that probably next time when a situation like that happens where you don't achieve really your past mark, it's not a way of just let the marks not define you. Really just put out your best, do your possible best. And for me, I don't believe that was the right way to deal with such a situation.
Asante sana Mwangi. Yes, Karen, a trained journalist at Mtoto News, basically one of the child advocates here. Cindy, now do you think it was right for this child to be beaten by the teachers?
Personally, I did not watch the video. I did not see it. But I don't think it's right, because just because he did not obtain 400 marks doesn't mean he did not pass. He actually got very good marks. So does that mean he did not get 400 marks, he's not good enough? Because he passed very well. So I don't see the use for him being beaten.
Asante sana. Now we are moving on. Now Karen, let me start with you. Now when a child has been beaten and all, what are some of the effects that can come from all this, from corporal punishment?
The child can feel like they are not good enough. Like they feel like just because they were beaten, they feel like, no, I did something wrong, yet it was just something very small.
Yeah.
So they'll feel very bad about it, and they'll keep holding on to it, and they'll not know how to let go of that pain.
Asante sana Karen. Let me come to Mwangi. Mwangi, what are some of the effects of corporal punishment?
I think the effects of corporal punishment, number one, one of the biggest effects is that really there is harm to the body, because you really get bruises on your body, and which leads to other reasons. For example, conditions that now like after the beatings, now you get bruises and things of the sort. So I believe it's harmful to your body, number one. And secondly, it also demoralizes a child in the fact that he is always really pushing himself to a place that really it's not him, because there's some people who probably just cram the book and really it does not help you. So really, I think the best thing is, let's just advocate for the child to do his possible best, and really, because it demoralizes him, and now after that he feels he's more or less of a person, and also that fear that you instill in him, I mean, I don't think that's right. I know there's a famous saying that spare the rod, spoil the child, but I mean there are cuts on it. There are some things that we should not do. For example, really torture the child, because that same thing can probably lead to a child dying due to post trauma experiences, because you also get trauma. So I do believe probably that's not the right way to solve it.
Asante sana, Mwangi, thank you so much. Now let me come to you, Doreen. Now Doreen, there's this aspect of corporal punishment in school, being beaten by the teachers. It's wrong, right?
Yes.
But there's also the perspective of corporal punishment at home, whereby the parents, when you do something, they discipline you. How is this corporal punishment in school different from the one at home?
First, I don't think there's a big difference, because the main reason for the punishment is for the child to understand the thing that he did, it was not correct. In school, the teacher will beat you using a cane in front of other kids, whereby you will feel ashamed, and you won't feel like it's you again. Maybe it will affect you mentally or something like that. And then at home, when your parent is beating you, when he's beating you, he will explain the reason why he's doing so. And in fact, you'll be just alone in the house. So at home, I prefer it much better when a parent is doing it while he is explaining to the child of why he's doing so. But at school, you will just be beaten, like, go and do this, but you won't know the correct reasons, the main reasons why you are beaten. So, and also you are also gonna feel ashamed. So that's, I think, the reasons for differences.
Asante sana Doreen. Let me come to Karen. Karen, so Doreen is saying that at home, the corporal punishment, as in being beaten maybe by your mom or your dad, is better because the parent is explaining why, like anakuchapa kwambia umeangusha sabuni, umeangusha something like that. I mean, do you think the home one is better? I mean, if you're being beaten in school and it's wrong, and then at home you also get beaten when you do something wrong, is the home one better than the one in school maybe?
It depends on how much they are beaten. Let's say they're beaten like just a few strokes, then they're explained to why it was wrong, that's okay. But let's say they're beaten till the point they are crying and bleeding, that one I think it's wrong.
For school
both
now?
In school and at home.
Okay, let me come to you, Mwangi. Thank you so much, Karen. Now Mwangi, Dorina said that maybe in school you are beaten in front of your friends and in front of people, but I understand some African parents, they don't care whether in front of your friends, ulivunja dhamos, they just come there with a brush maybe, or with a kifagio, and then they beat you up there. So what's the difference between the corporal punishment we have in school and the one at home?
I think probably children will prefer the one at home because you know the parent has more say on your life and knows really what he wants you to be, because you find in there are different households and also there are different roles. So probably for me, I do believe probably the probably not corporal punishment, because corporal in the fact that you use a cane to discipline him or her. In the so I do believe probably the one at home probably is better, so that if you have a problem in school, probably the teacher can write probably diary entries or anything of the sort to communicate with the parents that the child is not doing well in school, for example, probably is misbehaving or is performing acts of misdemeanor in school. So I do believe probably the one at home is more preferable, because the parent knows what they're doing, and really this is their child, so they also have a lot of say on the child.
Okay, thank you so much, Mwangi. Let's come to Kakai. Kakai, I know you guys are like, you know, supporting the one that happens at home, but we've had cases of parents beating their children to the point that the children die, to the point that the children end up in hospitals. Now, what is your say maybe on that?
Is what I was saying, it is punishment, not corporal punishment. When you beat child to an extent that you make bruises on the body or something like that, that is corporal punishment. But there is this punishment. I know the Bible says that spare the rod, spoil the child. You can beat the child just to correct, but this of too much beating or making damages on the body, that's not what I'm saying. So if the parents should also learn that we, as much as they're trying to correct us, they are also damaging us. I mean, they are also, which word can I use?
They're also trying to, you know,
they are not doing it in the right way. They should just make us understand our mistakes, or just even if it's punishment, it's not a must for it to be actually beating. There are types of beating punishment that you can use, but corporal punishment actually it's not allowed. Yes.
Asante sana, Doreen. At this point, Doreen's point takes us to our second break here at Mtoto News Insights. But don't go too far. We are still coming back with the same discussion about corporal punishment. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Mtoto News Insights. We are continuing the conversation about corporal punishment in schools. Now, Mwangi, according to the 2010 Constitution, corporal punishment is prohibited, and the 2013 Educations Act, they removed corporal punishment in schools. So, don't teachers know it was removed, or what's happening?
Yes, as Kenyans say, kwa ground ni different. So I do believe it's quite illegal for corporal punishment to happen. So I do believe probably the advice I would give the teachers and really the education sector is that probably we can have different modes of punishment. For example, we can have the naughty corner or have the...
So you'd feel safe when you do something wrong, you stand in a corner?
Yeah, I do believe it's better than really being bitten. Okay. Because, you know, being bitten now will lead to demoralizing the child. He would feel less of a person. And, you know, you're even embarrassing him in front of his friends. So I do believe probably the best thing we can do is really just to advise the sector to have different modes of punishment. Probably have that, or even just not give them some of the luxuries, for example, gadgets or internet. Yeah, not rights, but the luxuries. Food, yeah, that one you can give. But now the luxuries, for example, you know, deny them luxuries such as probably don't go swimming tomorrow due to what you've done today. To also teach them not to really misbehave, but really to reflect back on really what they've done wrong and improve later on.
Asante sana, Mwangi.
And Omar, if I may add to what he's saying.
Okay.
The teachers in Kenya knows that corporal punishment is prohibited, right? But they are doing that. Why? Because the government don't ask why they're doing. When they find the teacher that he has done that thing, they won't go on saying, why haven't you done so? They just leave the teacher goes like that. So if the government should also be looking forward that if a teacher does that, he's also going to face the consequences of the law. So I think that's what the government should also do to make sure the teachers don't do that.
Actually, we are coming to that. Let me come to Karen Muikoma. Now, Karen, what now can the government do to ensure that, you know, this corporal punishment is not there anymore? Because children are actually suffering, and also some of them are getting, you know, bruises in their body, like we saw for that video. What do you think government can do?
The government can go and check the schools like every 1 month, or like surprisingly they can send somebody to go and check the schools to see if the teachers are obeying the law. And like if the one teacher or a group of teachers are not, they can be like terminated from their job or anything like that.
Okay, thank you so much, Karen. Let me come to you now, Mwangi. Mwangi, you mentioned that you are a child advocate, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so now as a child advocate, maybe what are you trying to do to ensure that, you know, this corporal punishment ends in school?
Yeah, so what really we've tried is really educating people, spreading awareness in the fact that, you know, some teachers say that they don't know what they don't know, they're not aware that it is prohibited in the Constitution. So I think really what us as children advocates are doing is spreading our awareness, and also now if there are any irregularities in that, now the schools now or the children and the families have the right to go and sue the schools for any misdemeanor that or any irregularities that probably the teacher or the principal has done to the kids. So I think that's what we've been trying to do.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Let me correct Mwangi.
Yes, Karen, you want to correct?
There's no way that the teachers would not have known about the prohibition of corporal punishment in schools, because it was announced on television, radio, and other stations. So there's no way that the teachers would have not known that corporal punishment is prohibited. Okay,
that's good. So now what you as a child advocate, what are you doing also to ensure that there's no corporal punishment in schools?
That the children can, let's say one of their classmates or their friends is punished by the teacher, they can go and tell the headmaster or the head teacher of their school to about like how the classmate or friend was being beaten, yet the corporal punishment is prohibited in schools.
Okay. Asante sana.
Okay.
Mwangi, you have something to add?
Yeah, I beg to expound and differ at the same point with Karen's point, due to the fact that, I mean, you know, in Kenya, Kenyans really like bad news. Today, if we had a headline, 10 cabinet secretaries were sacked, and on the other headline, Eliud Kipchoge has won a cup. The Kenyans would buy the one that the cabinet secretary was sacked, due to the fact that really Kenyans really like listening to the bad news. And so I really want to now emphasize on the point that, yeah, there are some teachers really in areas that we don't have internet connectivity. You can imagine in Turkana, where we don't have a radio, we don't have a television, but all they do is that they're given a textbook in January, and they're expected to have finished the syllabus by December. So there are no communication that is really transmitted. So in terms of, yes, probably the closing date, but now if you come to the fact that now constitutionally and the rights given to the teachers now, really they might differ, due to the fact that, you know, news might not have gone to their place and not have gone to their area. So I believe probably we still need to spread awareness, because there are some people really, they do corporate punishment out of not just ignorance, but also out of not knowing, out of, you know, not knowing what they're doing. So I do believe, let's spread awareness. Yes.
Asante sana Mwangi. Yes, Doreen.
Let me just oppose one thing. You cannot tell me that the teachers don't know what? that corporal punishment is illegal. Why? Because when let me say, for example, the first year of academic year, teachers must have a meeting, right? And the teachers from board of management, the head teachers and the staff teachers will sit down and give out what the guidelines or what the cabinet secretary from the education says. You see, so the message will have reached from the to the head teacher until it goes to the other teachers. So there is no way that you can say the teachers didn't get any information that corporal punishment is banned in schools. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me come to Karen. Karen, you had something to add before? Yeah.
Yes, it's basically Doreen's point, because most if not all schools, before they open, like my school, we have a week that the teachers open a week before the students. So all of the teachers have a meeting, and let's say a new teacher is hired. Of course, the teachers would be briefed on what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do in schools. So it makes no sense that the teachers would not know that corporal punishment is illegal.
Okay, so Basi, let's come out of that that hot debate there. Let's move on now. Mwangi, as you're coming to the end of the program now, what is your message now to teachers who apparently know about the 2013 Educations Act, where the corporal punishment was banned, and also your message to the government who banned the corporal punishment but are not, following up to schools to ensure that this thing is not practiced?
Yeah, I think I will start with the fact that yes, it's not being practiced. My advice to the education sector is probably to ensure and enforce that these rules and the constitution is implemented in the various learning institutions. And so I do believe that the government has all resources to really implement, and also on the other side to spread awareness. And to the teachers, I believe that there are other various ways of punishment. For example, the grounding and also denying of luxuries. So I do believe there are other various ways. So for me, I do believe that we can have other ways of punishing the child. Yes.
Asante sana Mwangi. Let me come to Doreen. Now Doreen, yes. Umeangusha thermos by any chance kwenu? Umeangusha thermos. How would you like to be punished as a child?
I wouldn't say, because I don't want to be too...
To give your mother any ideas?
Yes, because what I just want my mom to do is let him give me a punishment that she knows it won't hurt me in any bad way.
But not beat you.
Okay, beating, it is acceptable, but not to an advanced way that I am really damaged, or those kind of bleeding and such stuff. That's what it's not actually supposed to be done. Yeah.
Okay, so what is your message now to the teachers and also the government who know about this corporal punishment and they're still, it's still there?
Let me start with the teachers. Our lovely teachers. You've been with us, not even the government. You know us better than the government know us. So let me say, for example, when we fail the exams, you are the ones who are going to take the faults of why we've not passed, why we've not passed. But when you are punishing us, I know you're punishing us out of love because you do care for us and our well-being. But let it not be wildly into an extent that a child is beaten excessive. Is beaten too much. Let me say that. But I know as you do your duties, let it be out of love and let it not be out of anger. To the government, I don't have anything much to say to the government, because they've done a lot to the schools, to provision of materials and stuff. So to the government, just continue doing your best for the education sector.
Asante sana, Doreen. Let me come to Karen. Yeah, Karen? So Karen, there's the issue of, our parents, when they lived in the 1900s, they were beaten mercilessly, and they were being, yeah, as in being beaten was not, it wasn't something considered as bad, it was actually considered as good because it is changing them. Cindy, so do you think maybe they are beating us because they were also beaten?
That's actually kind of true, because our parents were taught by their parents, our grandparents, that you punish a child because you've done something wrong, and the right way to do it is to beat them. But now, because of this new generation, parents are finding new ways to punish their children.
But maybe if I may ask, what is different with us? I mean, we are still the same humans. I mean, what's different with us that makes us not to undergo through corporal punishment? Hiyo kuchapwa.
Times are changing, basically. So, like, let's say in the 1900s, there was no like serious technology. Like, the only technology that existed were those two small kabambe phones and radios. So, like, and the constitution has changed over time. So let's say before it was legal in schools to beat the children, but now see, it's banned. So now, let's say that's the same deal with parents. So now in the, let's say, the 1900s, the parents, it was okay to beat the children mercilessly. So in this century or this generation,
yes,
the parents are trying to find new ways instead of beating.
Asante sana. Now, what is your message to the government and you know, the teachers who are still beating children, and yet it was dropped, the corporal punishment?
I think the government should check up on the schools more often, like especially the government schools, so they know what is happening around the school.
Asante sana, Karen. And Karen's point brings us to the end of Mtoto News Insights. Let's talk about it. Keep the conversation flowing at our social media platforms at Mtoto News, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. We're also on TikTok, by the way. We are on TikTok, so find us also there. You can also visit us at our beautiful website at www.mtotonews.com. You can also find me at all social media platforms at Omar Hamed 83. But for now, I say ciao.